every time I've visited British Columbia, I've met with YouTuber Jordan Boostmaster. Jordan has been in the YouTube game for much longer than I have, and even made a name for himself on Pink Bike before that.
I'm on a bike, I'm on a bike, everybody look at me, cause I'm riding on a bike, I'm on a bike.
His home turf includes destinations like Whistler, Kamloops, and the North Shore, making his local riding scene pretty tough to beat. Yet Jordan was open-minded enough to visit me, here in the Southeast.
Where's Pisgah? Has I heard of that?
We are in Pisgah National Forest. Yeah, so all the trails here are considered Pisgah. It would be interesting to see what Jordan thought of the trails here. With only 4 days to ride here, I planned an itinerary custom tailored to Jordan's main interest, downhill. Unsurprisingly, that started with Windrock Bike Park in eastern Tennessee. Winrock is one of my favorite places to ride, featuring raw, hand-cut trails that resemble race courses in almost every way. They're steep, off-camber, and full of sections that need a good walking to fully master. Instead of a lift, Winrock uses a fleet of shuttles which preserve the social outdoor feeling of a lift while still getting you to the top really quick. Shuttle parks are common in the Southeast, since the existing infrastructure of ski resorts is pretty hard to come by. We arrived at Winrock on Friday evening with plans to ride for a few hours and stay the night. Unfortunately, that was all the riding I would do for the weekend. Alright, not broken, but it's sprained pretty good, so I gotta follow up with an orthopedist. This step up is only possible to clear if you double these 3 sets of rollers. I went in kinda carelessly, took off crooked, and tumbled violently into a drainage ditch. I don't have much footage of the fall or the aftermath, but it's suffice to say I got really banged up. It was probably the highest speed crash I had ever taken, and somehow I walked away from it without any broken bones. Still, I would be off the bike for a few weeks, including the next 3 days with Jordan, but we made the best of it. Nate showed up to Winrock the following morning, which was perfect.
Some of the jumps were bigger than I was expecting.
Yeah. Him and Jordan rode together while I hiked around to get some shots.
Oh man!
Holy crap.
There was something at Winrock I wanted to show Jordan.
It's always loose, and it's like you make one mistake and you just tumble and tumble and tumble. But you do get a few catch berms like that.
Horseface was built for the Pro GRT race a few years back, and never ended up being run because of the weather. Since then, just enough people have ridden Horseface to keep nature from erasing it. And when that finally does happen, it won't be such a bad thing. It's silly steep and a great challenge, but there's a reason Winrock doesn't advertise its whereabouts.
I've seen it on GoPro, serious
On your
GoPro
videos.
effects.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Luckily, our impromptu entourage made it down Horseface without being heli-vacked.
Who here feels like they progressed today as a rider?
For sure.
No camera can capture the steepness of this trail, so it looks freaky when you see someone falling randomly, or being propelled across the surface on their face. The urge to show Jordan this trail was uncontrollable, but for the sake of my own safety, I don't plan on returning to it. As you may notice, Jordan was riding a Mondraker Foxy 27.5, which was a loaner from my friends over at Squatch. We chose this bike because we'd also be climbing on local trails. In any case, that Foxy was surprisingly capable for the task at hand, even on Windrock's steep and gnarly terrain. Still, Jordan would put it through its paces for 3 more days. While Windrock was over 2 hours away in Tennessee, Bailey Mountain Bike Park is only 30 minutes away from my house in Asheville. This was one place I had to show Jordan, as it's the local downhill spot in the Asheville Metro. With 2.5 days of bone-punishing downhill in the books, we decided to dial it back on Monday. Sorta. Seldom ridden and poorly maintained, Berm Creek might just be the most famous trail in the southeast. The North Shore drop at the top has only been ridden by a small group, including me, Alexander, Jared, and probably Phil. Bobo rolled it and sent a secret line off the side.
Oh God!
All have remarked at how different it looks in real life.
I'm more able to just like send some stuff if I'm like in the groove and like riding a trail, and then all of a sudden this is just like no practice, no warm up, just running from the road, and then just hit a big drop.
Drama, what's the one rule we discussed? The one rule. Come on.
All right. I mean, because honestly on video it doesn't seem like as harsh, I guess.
Of course, Jordan sent the drop, the roller, and even threw in a couple of variations. But I knew you guys wouldn't be satisfied until he rode all the features at Berm Creek.
What, do you just have to like start on the table, I guess?
You could. I mean, I usually take a run up and steer.
The thing that people don't really realize about the Clik table is how hard it is to approach. And then as soon as you land, you go into the creek.
So what's better, just come from up high, I guess?
Yeah, I come from up high and then steer wide, like almost like steer off the grass. Right? Drama! You gotta be kidding me, dude. Come on. That's how it always goes. Like you gotta yank up like crazy to keep from nosediving.
Yeah. I do want to try it on the lower part, just see if that's doable.
Yeah, just the hell.
Yo, drama.
Ouch. Oh, dude.
You all right?
Yeah.
Oh, I believe that sort of happened to me once.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
So what's the damage?
My right knee, really. I just hit on the stem of the bike as I was falling.
It was interesting showing Jordan just a few of the downhill spots in the southeast, even if I wasn't able to ride with him. With so many amazing spots in the Pacific Northwest, I'm interested to hear more about what Jordan thought of the riding here. And through the next few videos on his channel, we will. Be sure to subscribe to Jordan Boostmaster to see our collaboration from his perspective. For more information on Windrock and Bailey Mountain Bike Park, check the description for all the information you need. If you live anywhere in the American South, these places are going to be worth the trip. Thanks Jordan Boostmaster for coming to visit my home turf. And thanks for riding with me today. I'll see you next time.
I did almost catch a branch to the face. There's a broken off one. Kind of like this. Duck, Zach. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
There's that. Yeah. I tried pushing it up for you.
Thank you.
There was one nub just sticking down right towards the back of your head.
Holy shit.
Man.
That was nuts, man.